Well,
Ken?
I mean, oh,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry,
Ken.
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 Um,
Ken.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, if they deserve to be there, they deserve to be there. It makes you wonder how much influence to Southgate some of the managers have. What kind of a rapport does he have with Pochettino? What kind of a rapport does he have with Pep as he visits each stadium throughout the weeks, and then obviously maybe has to go, and deal with maybe a Mourinho, and maybe they don't get along so well. He's going to watch his players, and he's picking. I mean, if you look up and down the positions that we have selected players at, name me the better player that's in the league, or that we see week in and week out that's better
I agree 100%.
than the five that were selected.
Yeah.
There was maybe an argument that can be made to supplant Trippier, but I don't think so. I really don't. And Rose too. Rose is probably the most dynamic of the five, in that I think he is selected, but you really don't know what you're going to get. But the possibility of what you could get could make all the difference in not only getting through the group stage, but advancing, through the into the quarterfinals and maybe beyond.
Yeah, my big question, that I would love to just ask someone like Tony Adams really is, who would you put at that position over those Spurs players? Now, I can see question marks behind maybe Trippier or maybe Rose, but no one is beating out Kane, obviously. No one's beating out Delhi, and I personally do not think at all that Henderson is a better player than Dyer. So, those three are guaranteed going to be playing for England at the World Cup, and I don't see why anyone would have any objections to that. And I think this idea that, oh, they might not have the winning mentality, it hasn't done England any good to have players with a winning mentality, so we might as well try something new.
Yeah, I mean, all those times that Rooney and Gerrard and Lampard and Terry were in the team, the golden generation. Here's where I'm going to go into some historical data. I'm going to look at the tournaments, namely with that generation. I'm going to look at 2002. And we made it to England made it to the quarterfinals, and we took the lead against Brazil, and then Ronaldinho did his magic against Seaman. But you had Manchester United and Liverpool dominating the scoring. You had Beckham, Ferdinand, Owen, and Heskey, and some geezer called Arsene Campbell scoring in the opener. But other than one game where we blew Denmark away 3-0, we failed to score more than one goal, and were held to a draw with Nigeria. Fast forward to 2006, and again, very, very slow out of the gates. We won against Paraguay with an own goal. We beat Trinidad and Tobago on Crouch and Gerrard, drew 2-2 with Sweden in the final games. It's like we seem to take our foot off the gas, and maybe a precursor to how this group stage will go. We struggled against Ecuador in the round of 16 with Beckham scoring, and then the quarterfinals held 0-0 with Portugal, doing what we love to do at the World Cup, losing on penalties. And then South Africa, an absolute Capello's World Cup, horrible. Gerrard 1-1 against the US. We drew 0-0 with Algeria and Slovenia. Defoe, and that was really a scuffed effort by the little man to win 1-0 against Slovenia, and then absolutely slaughtered by the Germans, despite Lampard's goal that never was, with Upson of West Ham scoring. So that lack of potency in front of goal has been around for, I hate to say it, it's 86, Mexico. We scored 3 in a couple of games, and we didn't start that tournament off well. So England at World Cup finals don't score a lot of goals. The only time we've scored more than 3 has been twice: a 4-4 draw with Belgium in 1954 in our second ever tournament, and when we won the bloody thing in 66 in the final. We've never scored 4 goals other than that. And that last tournament in Brazil, we scored 2 goals in total in 3 matches, Sturridge and Rooney. I also want to touch on this because we have the opportunity from a goal-scoring perspective I'm not sure if you guys knew this. Liverpool have the most goals for England in the World Cup finals with 13. Manchester United with 12. Tottenham have 9. West Ham have 7, just in case you wondered who's fourth. So there's no danger of them catching us at this stage. Everton have 6, all scored by Gary Lineker in 1986. And you could argue, well, he scored 4 of our 9 in one final, but we've managed to chip in over time. With 5 players in the team now, with the scoring ability of Kane and Ali, do you think we have a chance to catch United or Liverpool? Or are we going to continue this trend of scoring a goal or 2 goals here or there? I know it's a world stage and everyone's on tenterhooks, particularly in the group stages, but do you really think we can break out and start banging in the goals?
Go ahead, buddy.
I think that we have absolutely the ability to catch up with United. I think that there's goal scorers that are coming from Liverpool in this tournament that might, keep that difference between us and Liverpool, extended. But I see no reason why between Kane and Dele that we couldn't get the total Spurs goals up to at least 13, if not 14.
I mean, we'll save Golden Boot predictions for later on. But what are your thoughts on that, Ken? What do you think England can really do when it comes to potency in front of the goal?
Just think it matters about the system and how much freedom these players are given. I think if he lets them go out there and just play and not sit back, play safe, let's save it for the last 20 minutes and then maybe turn it on. Just let them be creative and play. Sky's the limit. I mean, you could see them pour in 4 or 5 in a match if it all came down to it. But if he wants to play it safe, like we've seen him do, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago with this squad, and try to eke out 1-0s and 1-1s and even 0-0 draws, it could get over really quick.
Yeah.
I just think they need the freedom to play.
All right, and I really, it's so difficult sitting here with your Spurs hat on, saying this, but really it's going to be an opportunity for Harry Kane to write his name into the history books, and I really think he can. And I'm just concerned, will he get the service from the Lingards, the Sterlings, the Rashfords? We know it can happen with Dele. I mean, Dele's pass that Welbeck got on the end of, it was never a shot. The commentators, and I think it was Clive Allen, what I was watching, thought at first it was an effort on goal, but that's just Dele Alli to a T. And if he is able to do that, and Kane's on the end of it, watch out everyone that we play. And I don't want to discard Belgium. They're in the same group. We have 3 Spurs players in there, notably anchoring midfield to defence. But let's talk about Belgium's attack. You got Eden Hazard, you got Carrasco, Dries Mertens, Batshuayi, and Lukaku. Do you think Belgium can be banging in the goals? That they're a pretty offensive team. Do you think they're going to be bringing the game? That's, I think a couple of you said they're probably going to win the group.
Yep.
Why do you think that, Ben?
Well, I think that, especially with Lukaku, I think when the game is played a little bit slower, he always, to me, looks much, much better. I always thought that when he was playing for Everton, when they were playing those kind of slow, mid-paced games is when he looked really, really lethal, just because all of a sudden he would turn on the speed, turn on the afterburners, and the next thing you know, he's, breaking free on goal. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that from Lukaku at all. I think that Belgium are going to be kind of a dark horse in this World Cup. The big question is going to be, for me, is their midfield. Are they going to be able to actually come along and, get the ball to the people they need to get the ball to in order to score? Because I think that other than, I don't think that they do have necessarily the best attacking lineup in the entire World Cup, but it's definitely up there. It's very attack heavy.
Ken, you have any thoughts on Belgium?
Yeah, I think that they will benefit from maybe what England lacks from the back, and that's the distribution that they're going to get from the Toby Alderweireld's and Jan Vertonghen's of the world. We see it week in and week out with Spurs, those long looping passes that Toby can put right on someone's foot as they make a run, and if that person is Eden Hazard and he has the opportunity to either shoot or distribute, to a Lukaku or a Batshuayi, they could be very lethal, especially in the group stage.
All right, well, that's a perfect opportunity for us to segue into our predictions, and we're going to go quickly through these, certainly in the round of 16, and I'll head this off, and I'll pick who I had in each match and who's going to go through. So we've got the quarterfinals, and we'll talk about that. So I've got France playing Croatia, with France going through. I have Portugal going through against Uruguay. I have Spain beating the Russians, Argentina beating Denmark, Germany absolutely steamrollering the Swiss, and then Belgium finishing second in our group, taking care of Colombia, while England beats the Poles, and then Brazil, rematch of the 58 World Cup final, will take care of Sweden. Ben, give us your round of 16 and who you've got going into the quarters.
All right, round of 16, I'm going to do it in a slightly different order than you just did, but I've got Uruguay, Portugal, with Portugal getting knocked out by Uruguay. I think that the strike force of Cavani and Suarez is just going to be much too much for Portugal's defense. I've got France and Croatia, and France, I think, pretty easily beating Croatia. Croatia has a great midfield, but I don't think they have much other than that. Brazil, Korea is my next one, and Brazil is going to slaughter Korea. That's going to be not very nice, but I do think Son will score. Belgium, Poland. I've got Belgium beating Poland. I think that one's going to be really close. Spain, Russia. I think that Russia is actually my dark horse to get out of that group, but Spain's going to knock out Russia. Argentina, Peru. Argentina is going to knock out Peru. Germany, Switzerland. I also agree that Germany is going to run through the Swiss. And then I've got Colombia, England. And I think that England is just going to edge that one out and go through.
Get in there, my son. All right. Ken.
Simon, mine's pretty similar to yours. So I have France and Croatia, with France going through. Portugal edging out Uruguay. Spain beating the Russians. Argentina knocking out Denmark. Germany destroying the Swiss going in. England getting by Colombia, and Belgium beating Poland. And Brazil, this is, I think, all three of us have them playing someone different. I have them knocking out Mexico to advance.
All right. You want to stay on and do...
Sure.
Tell us about your quarterfinals and who you have going through.
So my quarterfinals, I have Brazil playing Belgium, and Belgium with the upset going through.
Nice.
England and Germany, and it'll all come down to penalties again.
No!
With the Germans going
We're
through. Spain and Argentina, I have Spain just edging out the Argentines, and France beating Portugal to get into the semis.
We got very similar matchups there. So, Ben, what's your...
All right, so I've got Uruguay, France, and I think that France is going to knock out Uruguay. I've got Brazil, Belgium, and I think that Brazil is going to run circles around Belgium, and everyone's going to yet again be like, oh, Belgium had no chance. I've got Spain, Argentina, and in different brackets I've gone different ways, but today I'm going to say that I think Argentina is going to get their act together and actually be able to knock Spain out. And then I've also got Germany, England, and I would like to say England, but I cannot. It's going to be Germany.
All right. So, very similar here. I've got France and Portugal, with France advancing, Argentina and Spain. And I've gone against form here with the Argies actually making it into the semis. I've got Brazil versus England. Unfortunately, my lily white tinted glasses fell off and broke. So Brazil made it through. And then Germany and Belgium. And the red, yellow, and black this time falls to Germany. So France, Argentina, Germany, and Brazil in my semi-finals. France, Brazil. This is where I'm going for the upset, with France to beat Brazil. And Argentina, Germany, a rematch of the last final, with Germany for an all-European final. Ben.
I've literally got the exact same thing.
You got the same four?
Yes, I have the same. France knocks out Brazil, and Germany knocks out Argentina.
All right.
I think that Argentina's been a mess, and I think that they're going to finally. I think that Argentina is going to, like I said in the last, in the quarterfinals, they're going to get their act together for that one match and beat Spain. But there's no way that they're going to be able to keep it together against that Germany team.
I heard Lanzini is out and injured and won't be back until 2019. Was Lamela on the standby list?
He wasn't.